Hey everyone, welcome to the exciting blank game week 21 that is about to start, where we only have 12 teams playing and 8 missing out. When we go to our schedule, we can see here that a lot of the big teams are not playing based on participating in the Supercoppa this week. So that includes the likes of Inter, Napoli, Fiorentina, Atalanta, and then some teams that they were scheduled to play. Torino's one. Sorry, Lazio was the other team in Supercopa, not Atalanta, but Atalanta is missing this week. Um, by there went Sassuolo's one, and I forget who else I'm thinking of right now, but those are the majority of the bigger teams. And so that's a lot of big players that if you have in your squad won't be playing, and a lot of people would have had them in their squad up until this week, which is why I've used my wild card this week. I have 8 new players coming to the team that weren't there in the last squad, and this is to ensure that I'm competitive throughout each and every match um, throughout the season, and some people might not be able to adjust if they already use their wild card to have a full playing 11 this week. But I will be able to, and hopefully I'll make up some spots. So I just want to go to the schedule and quickly take a look at what's happening here. So we're in blank game week, which is game week 21, where we have 6 matches. Luckily, we still have Juve players to choose from, Roma and Milan. I think that's every but he's going to probably keep taking 2 of those at least, and then you're going to have to build the rest of your team elsewhere. But then upcoming in game week 24, this is where we see Fiorentina and Bologna get a double game week. Those are the only 2 teams with a double then. And then in game week 26, we see the rest of the teams that missed this week have their double game week as well. So by game week 27, I think all of the fixtures will have been made up, and we probably won't get any more double game weeks from that point on. Um, there's really no reason to unless some weird cancellations happen for whatever reason, and they do sometimes, but for the most part, that's probably going to be it for the fixture chaos. But right now, managing game week 21 to 26 is going to be interesting. And the way I've done it is starting out as a wild card and ensuring my team is competitive for this week. Um, my front three will still have Giroud and Vlahovic, but include Lukaku as well. So a good third forward to include in the mix. And at least this way, with all of them and the money I have in the bank still, which is 5.2 or 5.6, something like that, I will be able to go back to Lautaro Martinez after this week by selling any of them. Um, then we have Sula, who's been a really great cheap player this year, especially as of recently, and Goodmanson has been exceptional. So those 2 make up my cheaper midfielders. Uh, now that I brought Kandreva back in, he's probably not going to do anything, just like what happened at the start of the season. But if you want to bring him in, this is someone I'm bringing in. Has been doing well recently. I think he scored a couple weeks ago, and now he's got another goal. He scored against Napoli last week. Um, so I'm bringing him into the squad for this week. And Rafael Leao is going to be my other Milan player. You could go with Theo Hernandez. He did just get his first attacking return in a while last week, so maybe he's in form, and they're facing Udinese, so they should be able to keep a clean sheet. Um, but Rafael Leao and Giroud, I'm going very attacking for Milan, and I likely am captaining Leao, which I'm a little on the fringe on still, but that's what I've got right now. Along the back line, we have Bremer still bringing back Spinazzola for this game week and playing Sabelli as my third defender. Scafé is my keeper, who's actually facing my other keeper, Torati. But I'm going to back Cagliari in this fixture and have a cheaper goalkeeper. Now, on my bench, I have intentionally picked 3 players that aren't playing that I will want in my squad back when we get to game week 26. And that is Ederson, Buongiorno, and DiMarco. Now, these were actually all players that were in my squad originally, but I'm only going to have 5 transfers to build a squad that's going to also be competitive in um, game week 26 when majority of the doubles occur. So I want to not only be competitive in this game week, but also for game week 26, because people that aren't able to adjust for this are still going to have their solid team back in the following game week, and that means they'll have their Inter players, their Napoli players, and so on and so forth, and they'll have a good team for game week 26 already. So I need to make sure that I'm ready for game week 26 as well. So I am going to put a lot of faith that all of my starting 11 here is going to see the field in each of their games and not blank. So then I don't need a bench this week. And then I'll have DeMarco, Buongiorno, and Ederson are all players I want in my squad afterwards that I don't want to have to transfer in. And then every week I will make sure like my five transfer, I need to make sure they're five players that I want in my team for game week 26. Now, Bologna and uh Fiorentina do have the game week 24 double. So if you're still wanting players like Xerxes and Nico Gonzalez and you're wildcarding to a team that looks like this, I would suggest bringing them in first before you bring back someone like Lautaro or someone like that. Or even have them as the bench options here. I just want to be able to see if Nico Gonzalez gets better again first before I end up transferring him back in. But if he's fit, and I would want him for that double for sure, and probably Xerxes as well. A reminder that their double, though, does include those two teams playing against each other. Um, and yeah, and then as you go along, you pick back up your Inters and Napoli players and whoever Berardi may be from Sassuolo if you still are backing him. Just think of those five players that you want. Really, you can think of like eight players that you want. Because if you line up your bench with three that are already there, and then you have five transfers that you can use to get players back in, you've almost got a full starting squad of whatever you want. And I'm sure you're going to want some kind of Juve, Milan, or Roma in there somewhere that would already be filling out your squad. So I don't think by wild carding this week and ensuring you have a competitive team in game week 21, you're screwing yourself over going forward. You might maybe in like the early game weeks, like yes, you won't have Lautaro Martinez next game week unless you're putting him on your bench. I just think that's too much money to have on your bench for this game week. Um, but yeah, maybe you might falter over the next couple, but I think a starting 11 right now is much better than people that have six blanks coming. And I think that you'll still have a competitive team the next couple weeks. These are all players that have been doing well, not as well as your Lautaro Martinez and stuff like that, but still you'll have a good team and you can slowly but surely transfer them out. And there's nothing wrong with taking a 5 point hit here and there if you need to. Okay, you just don't want to be taking 10, 15, 20 point hits. But I think this is the way I'm going to go. I think it'll keep me competitive. Still got two starting keepers that I can alternate between as needed. And who knows, I might even roll next week and see how things go as uh the first double game week with Bologna and Fiorentina go. Okay. But once again, my squad front three, Giroud, Vlahovic, Lukaku, midfield Sula, Goodmanson, Leao, and Kandreva, back three, Bremer, Spinazzola, Sabelli, and in net Scufett. So if you want to know what my wildcard team would be this week, you've already figured that out. And these are my like this would be the players that I suggest for you because I this is my opportunity that I can do that. So I don't really have like a top five. I have a top 11 or top maybe even 15 that I would suggest for you this week. Let me know if you're wildcarding. Let me know if you have other players that you'd have in my team instead, or and what else you're doing to prepare for this craziness of fixtures between game weeks 21 to 26. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.